Okay, students, good morning once again, and today we'll be looking about file programming. Okay, how to create a file, how to read and write to a file. Okay, and what are the predefined methods that are already available that help us to work with the file. Okay, so basically we'll be seeing about file manipulation today, and the remaining we'll see tomorrow. Okay, so first we'll have a quick recap for the previous session. So what will be the answer of this? Scanner class is available in which Java package? Whether it is available in IO, util or lang package. So scanner class is available in which Java package? IO, util or lang pack? Okay, util. Okay, good. So this scanner class is available in your util package. So with help of the scanner class, we read input from the console. So next question, which exception is thrown by the read method? Okay, so read method, you read the from the console with the help of read method, right? Suppose if there is any exception occurring, then what kind of exception will be thrown? IO exception, interrupted exception, system input exception. Are you answering for the second question, Shrutika? Which exception is thrown by read method? IO exception, interrupted, system input. Students, what is your answer? Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, my Bluetooth headset is not working right now, so I'm just using my laptop's mic. Okay, so the question that we were seeing is which exception is thrown by the read method? So IO exception or interrupted exception, system exception. So yes, it is IO exception. So whenever you read or write anything, if your file is not found, if your stream is not available, any kind of exception that occurs during your reading the console or reading or writing to a file, always IO exception occurs. Okay, so always IO exception is the one which occurs whenever you read or write anything. So your answer is IO exception. So which of these class contains the method print and println? System.out, buffer reader, buffered output stream, print stream. So print and println methods are available in which of these classes? A, system, no. I repeat the question. Print and println functions methods are available in which of these classes? Your answer. Students, give me your answer. Okay, it is D. Yes. So print and println methods are available in the print stream class. Okay, so we use print and println, that is your system.out.println, all those things. So these functions and methods are available in your print stream class. So next one, which of these methods can be used to write the console? Okay, writing something to the console. So print, println, write, or all of the above. So which of these methods can be used to write to the console? Okay, writing means that's obviously your output. So which of these methods can be used? If you want, I'll show you the question again. which of these methods can be used to write to the console? So print, println, write. Okay, your answer is D. Obviously, you can use all the methods. Okay, print, println, or write. All these functions can be used to write to the console. So the last question, which of these class is used to read characters and string in Java from the console? Buffer reader, string reader, buffer string, input stream reader. So which of these is used to read characters and string in Java? 5A, buffered reader. Okay. Any other answer? 5A. Yes, okay. Your file, sorry, to read the characters from the console, we will use buffered reader. So this is what you would have seen in the previous class. So that is how to read from a console and how to write to a console you would have seen in the previous classes. And today we'll be seeing about how to read and write from a file or to a file. So before we start with file, you need to know what is a path. Okay, a path is nothing but a location, I can say in precise, a location where your data file is residing. Okay, path is nothing but just a location. Suppose if you are using your Windows, okay, Microsoft Windows OS, so how you store a file, you just go to D drive, you have a folder, you have a subfolder, a folder, or we call it as a directory. So you create a file inside a folder. Okay, so you can have further folders or further directories. So wherever you are using, whenever you are using a file, you need to specify the path in which your file is residing. Whether you are reading or whether you are writing, you are supposed to specify the path in which you are that you are going to use the file. Okay, the system must know where the location is, where the path is, where the file is available. So if you don't specify the file path properly, you will get IO exception, that file not found. Okay, you will get file not found exception if you don't specify the path or the file doesn't exist. Okay, so you have to specify where the location of the file is. So that is what is called as a path. So path is stored in a tree-like structure, that is hierarchical manner. So you will have the root, then you will have a folder, then you will have subfolders, and so on. Then you can have your file. So a path is a very important thing when you read a file or write a file. So this is an example for a path. So if you are using the Solaris operating system, that is Unix operating system, then you will have the slash, that is your root. Okay, your slash indicates that it is the root. So if you are using your Windows, then you will have either C drive or D drive or any local disk that you are using. So after that, you will have a home, then you can have n numbers of users, then those users can have further directories or folders. So this is how the path looks like. So whenever you are using a path, there are two ways to use a path. Okay, one is absolute path name and second one is uh, re- uh, absolute and resolve. So if you are using the absolute path name, you have to specify the entire path name. Okay, so you cannot miss anything. So whenever you are using a file, always give the absolute path name, that is from the root till the end of the file. Okay, where the location is, you have to give the entire path name. Okay, so we'll be today seeing about your input stream, that is for file. So file input stream, file output stream, then file reader and file writer. So these four classes will be looking today for manipulating with your files. So first will be file input stream. So file input stream is mainly used to read the file, where the file can be either a text file or it can be any kind of file like audio, video, or a binary file. Okay, so file input stream can read. Okay, it is used for reading, not for writing. So file output stream is used for writing to a file. So file input stream is used to read data from your file, where the type of file can be anything. Okay, it is a byte oriented data. Okay, it reads data in terms of bytes. Okay, when you go for file reader, it reads the data in terms of characters. Okay, it reads, so file input stream will read bytes of data. Okay, it is byte oriented, so you can have any kind of file. Okay, mainly you can use for your object files also. Okay, you can have any kind of files. If you are using only text file, then it is best to go for file reader. Okay, so this is file input stream. Just a minute, I have some disturbance. Just a minute. Okay. So file input stream is used to read your data. The data can be from any file. So we'll see the methods that are available in file input stream. So first method is available. So it is used to tell how many bytes that are available to further read from the file. Okay, so how much you're going to read, how much bytes are available further in order to read from the file. So next one is read method. So read method will read bytes of data from the input stream. So output of the read method is integer, which means that it will return the number of bytes that it has read. Okay, so output of the read method is integer, which means it returns the number of bytes that are read from the file. So next third method is read same read method, where you can read n number of bytes. Okay, where the bytes can be read as arrays. Okay, array of bytes, you can read many bytes of data where the data is in array. Okay, n array list, you can read arrays of bytes. Okay, so that also returns the number of bytes that it is read. So next fourth method is read. You are overloading the read method with different parameters. So second, a third one is read, where you specify the offset. Okay, from which location I should start reading. If I don't want to start from the first file, so from which location I should start reading, and how much bytes I should read. So that is what is given in the third read method. How much bytes I should read and from where I should start reading. So next one is skip method, where it will skip the number of bytes that you specify. Okay, so it will, for example, if I give 500, so it will omit the 500 bytes and then start reading from 501. So it skips the number of bytes that you specify. So next one is file channel, get channel. So this channel and your file descriptor both are used for the properties that are associated with the file. Okay, so file channel is nothing but like a string. Okay, it allows you to read the data from a string. So this file channel and file descriptor will give you the properties and the path in which you read your file. And finally, you will have the finalize method. So this finalize method, see, whenever you open a file, okay, whenever you're using a file, that is, you create an object by calling the constructor of the corresponding classes, you open the file. So once you open a file, you are supposed to close it. So call to the close, that is closing of the file, can be given inside the finalize method. So finalize method will automatically, that is whenever a file program completes its execution, automatically finalize method will get called. So inside the finalize method, you can give the close method, where your file is closed. Okay, your file object dot close. Okay, that is how you close your file. So this is regarding your file input stream. So second one is file output stream. So file input stream is used to read byte oriented data. So next, file output stream is used to write to a file, okay, in terms of bytes. So whenever you are writing to a file, okay, it has to be written in terms of bytes. If you have your data as string, you will have to convert it into a bytes. So whenever you write to a file using the file output stream, you will have to write it in terms of bytes. So file output stream is used to create a file and write data to it. So if the file already exists, then if the file doesn't exist, it will create a file. Okay, if it is available, it will override the file. So this is how you create a file input stream object. So file output stream, yeah, file whatever object you want equal to new file output stream. So this is what is the path that I was talking about. You are supposed to say where the file is residing. Okay, so inside the C, inside the Java folder, you have the file as hello. So it's better to specify the extension of the file when you specify the path of the file. So I can have it as hello.txt or a hello.jpg or any kind of file. Okay, if you are using a file, specify with the help of the extension of the file. So next, these are the methods that is available in file output stream. So these methods that already we saw in file input stream are already available, and additionally you have the write method. Okay, in file input stream you have read method, right, in order to read the files. So likewise here in file output stream you have the write method. So write method is used to, it can be same, it can be overridden like the previous read method. First you can write the byte that is specified, or you can write array of bytes, okay, n number of bytes, or you can write the bytes from a specified position or location and how much bytes that I should write. So this is what is your file output stream. So in file input stream you have the read method, in file output stream you have the write method. So these file descriptor, finalize, close, these are common for the both. So file input stream and file output stream, both they can use it. So we'll see examples for each. So first for the file input stream. So these classes that we are using, file input stream, file output stream, whatever classes we are using, this is already available in Java IO package. So you can directly specify java.io.asterisk where all the classes are imported, or specify the particular class that you are importing. So I'm importing file input stream class since I'm going to read the file. Okay, so next you have a class. So my class name is file input stream example 1. So then main method. So I have given the operations to read the file inside my try block. Okay, so why I have given it inside the try block is you might have an exception which will be like file not found. Okay, if the file is not available, then you will have an exception. So whenever you're using a file, try to do all the manipulations of the file inside your try block, so that if an exception occurs, then the exception can be handled. So don't forget to use the try and catch block. So this file input stream, whatever classes you are using, automatically it will throw IO exception. Okay, what the kind of exception that will be thrown is IO exception. In IO exception, you can have file not found or any specific exception. So first, I'll create an object for the file input stream. So this is your constructor. So this constructor I'm using to create the object for your file. So this constructor takes the input, which is nothing but the location where your file is residing. So this is my path. So in D folder, I have test.txt. So this is the path in which I have a file. So this file I'm going to read it. So automatically you have to create an object. So everything is object in Java, right? So I have to create object for the file input stream. So once I create object, then I can use this object to do the manipulation, right? Reading or closing the file. So create an object for your file input stream. So parameter for the constructor will be the path where your file is residing. So next I have to read the file. So when I read the file, use your file object. So file in dot read method. So as I told you, the read method will give you the output in terms of integer. So what is the what to say? What is the value that you are reading? Always remember, whenever you read the characters, it will be in terms of ASCII value from the file. Okay, it will specify the number of ASCII character, ASCII value of the character that you read from the file. So you will have to convert it into a character. You will have to do type typecasting. Whenever you read from a file, the output, that is, whenever you read or write, it will be in terms of ASCII value. So we'll have to do the type conversion. So I read from the file and I just typecast it to character and I'm printing it onto the console. So system.out.print, whatever character that I have read, that I will write it into the console. So next, close your file. So this file close can be inside your finalize block also, or you can have it inside the try block. So next I have a catch where the exception is handled. So now when I execute this code, will it read all the bytes, sorry, all the characters that is available, or it will read only one single character? So that we will see here. So your file read will stop when it encounters the end of file, where the end of file is indicated with -1. Okay, -1 indicates that it is end of file. So we'll run this code and see the output. So already I have set path. Okay, I have set the environment variable. So just give javac your file name dot java. Okay, it is compiled. Now I'll run it. Okay, so it is reading one single character. So before that, I'll show you what is available in this file. Okay, it is just in read mode, right? So I'll show you what is available in this file. So in D, I have this test out. So I've given welcome to Rajalakshmi Institute of Technology. So this is the content that is available in my text file that I'm reading using my file input stream. So when I read it, it is reading one single byte. So read method reads, that is one single character. So when I read, the output of a file read is stored in a integer, that is in terms of ASCII. So if you don't do this type conversion, okay, I just print the value of I. So we'll see what is the output. It will return the ASCII value of W. 87. Okay, whenever you are reading from a file or writing to a file, it is in terms of ASCII value. So you will have to do the typecast. So I'm just converting it to character. So this is reading the first character of my file. Suppose if you want to read n number of characters, so then you can use this file that is read method inside a while loop. Okay, so if you use it inside a while loop, so this example will tell you how to read all the characters from your file. So I've just given it inside the while block because, sorry, in while, what happens is you are reading the file. Okay, so as I told you, end of the file is indicated by -1. So once you find, once its system encounters -1, that is, it reads the end of the file, then it will stop your while loop. So this loop will read all the characters that are available in your file. Okay, so until it encounters the end of the file. So I'll show you the output for this. The remaining things is same. Now I'm creating an object for file input stream. So this is the path where my file is residing and I'm reading all the characters one by one. So since I'm using a file while loop, just initialize the value of I is 0 at first. Then do typecasting to read the characters, whatever characters we have read in ASCII. I'm just typecasting it into character. And then finally I'm closing the um, file. So this is inside your try block. Compiled. Now I'm running it. So you read the all the bytes that are available in your file. So all the characters that are available in your file until you find the end of file. So end of file is indicated by -1. So this is regard with reading the file. So this is how you read from a file. So next we will see how to write to a file. So this is how you write it. So import the required package. So next inside the try block, I have given the code to write the file. So when you are writing the file, I am using the file output string. So suppose if you are doing both reading and writing in a file. Okay, first open the file in read mode, then do your manipulation, close it, then open it in write mode. Anything can be done. So I'm creating an object for the file output string. So this is equal to the constructor for the file output string where this is what is the path. Okay, the same file I'm using to write it. Okay, so whatever data that I'm writing it should be reflected in this file. Okay, this is available in D folder. So I'm writing something. Okay, I'm writing 65. So 65 is the ASCII value for capital A. So whenever you write to a file, write it in terms of ASCII value. So using your file object. So file object dot write 65. So I'm then just closing the file. So once the file is written, okay, once there is no exception and the writing of the file is complete, just on the console I am printing that the file is written, that is success. I'm just returning something or some a message on the console saying that the file is written successfully. So if you have any exception, then it will be caught. Clear? So we'll execute this code. Compile it. Okay. So at first, this file, okay, test.out contains welcome to Rajalakshmi Institute of Technology. So I'm just writing the ASCII value of the file. So just close this file and open it again. So the file is now overwritten. Okay, whatever the previous value that you had in your file is now overwritten. If the file doesn't exist, then a new file is created and whatever content you give, that is written. So whatever value that I have written, it is in terms of ASCII. So automatically it gets converted into the character. So ASCII value of 65 is, sorry, 65 corresponding character is capital A. Okay, so A's ASCII value is 65. So this is to write one single character. Suppose if you want to write n numbers of characters. I'll have to use write method where I write n bytes. Okay, I'll give you example. So this is how you're going to write it. Okay, so file output stream, create the object, same file I'm using, same location, D test out. So this is the string that I want to write to the file. Okay, I'm using welcome to Rajalakshmi Institute of Technology as the data that is to be returned to a file. So I'm storing it as a string. So as I told you, whenever you write to a file, it has to be in terms of bytes. Okay, when you're reading, when you're writing to a file, it has to be in bytes. So whatever string you have to convert it into a byte. So get byte method is used to convert your string into a byte. So get bytes will convert whatever string. So yes is the string where I have my data. So this will be converted into byte and it is stored in an array. So array of bytes, I'm going to write it to my file. So obviously use your object file object dot write. So I'm writing the bytes, okay, which is a array of byte here. So all the contents welcome to Rajalakshmi Institute of Technology is converted into byte. Byte in the sense it's corresponding ASCII value and then it is written into the file. So same file I'm using. The previous output of this file was the ASCII value 65 what we already returned. So now this will be overridden and welcome to Rajalakshmi Institute of Technology will be the content of this file. I'll close this file, run this code. It is compiled. So just run it. So your file is written successfully. So just printing a message. So now open your file. So it is in my D drive. So test out. So this is your output. So welcome to Rajalakshmi Institute of Technology. So whatever data you are going to use it is in the form of a string. So convert it into byte. Suppose if you are using file writer class, okay, which we will see now, obviously automatically it gets converted into byte. Whatever string you give, that gets converted into byte. So this is regarding with your file input stream and file output stream, just how to read and how to write. Well, tell you about the file reader. Okay, so file reader class. So we have seen so far file input stream, file output stream. So these classes that we saw will read the data in terms of byte. So whatever class we are going to see now, file reader, file writer will read in terms of characters. Okay, so this is used mainly for text file. Okay, it can handle only text file, it cannot handle any other kind of file. If you are going to work only with text file, okay, then we can use file reader class and file writer class. If you're going if you're not specific, okay, if you don't know what kind of data you're going to write or read, then you can go for file input stream and file output stream. So file reader class is used to read the data from the file. It reads the data in terms of characters. So these are the different constructors. So file reader, that is either you can pass the file path as a string or you can have it as a file object. Okay, you can create an object for the file, that is your super class. Then you can pass the file object as it is. And these are the two methods that we have, read and close. So read is used to read the characters from the file in terms of ASCII. Okay, and end of the file is marked with -1 as usual. And close method is used to just close your file. So once your manipulation is done, you can automatically close your file using the method close. So read and close will work with help of the objects that you create for the file. So you are creating an object for the file reader class, right? So whatever object you are using, that you have to use to read and close. The next one is file writer class. So this is used to write data to the file. It is a character oriented, it is not byte oriented. So file output stream, file reader class, you need not convert it into bytes. Whatever using, whatever you are writing, you need not convert it into byte. Automatically it gets converted. So in your previous example, uh, I'll show you the program here. So here you are using the file output stream. In file output stream, we converted the string into byte. Then we wrote the byte into the file. But if you are using the file writer class, then you need not convert it into a byte. Automatically it gets converted. So this is the constructor that we have. One is using the string and second one is a reference to the file. So both will create the file if it is not available. If the file is already available, it will overwrite the content. So these are the methods that we have. So write in terms of characters or in terms of string or in terms of array of characters. So next flush. So flush will clear your data inside the string. Okay. So last one is close. So close will conclude, that is it will close the file that is available for writing. So these are the different methods. Now we will execute the code. File reader. So same, it is available in your IO package. So create an object for the file reader. Then with the help of that object, read all the characters that are available in your file. So whenever you read the characters, the output will be in terms of ASCII converted into the corresponding character value, typecasted from integer to character. So in your file, we have this content which was already pre-written, that is the previous program. We wrote the content as welcome to Rajalakshmi Institute of Technology. So now this will be read, this whole file will be read and you will have it written onto the console. So on my console, I'm just printing the file, contents of the file. So this file is already available. So if you don't have an file available to read, then you will have the exception. So I'll just execute this code and I'll show you the output. Compile it. It is compiled. Execute the code. So contents of the file is now written onto the console. So whatever content we had in the file, text out. So test out file contain the characters welcome to Rajalakshmi Institute of Technology. So now that is given onto the console. Suppose if I delete this file, okay, I'll delete this file and I'm trying to read the file. Let's see what happens. Again, I'm compiling it. Compile and I'm running. So you have an exception. So exception in thread file not found exception. So this testout.txt is not available. So the system cannot find the file specified. So purposely I have deleted the file from the D drive. Okay. So once I have deleted the file, I have an exception. So this file not found exception will happen if you don't have the file to read. It is not a problem when you write. So when you write, if the file is not already created, it creates a file and it writes the content to the file. So this is in regard with the file reader. So I have not used the try and catch block. So program has abruptly stopped, exception is not handled. So I have not given the try catch block if you see here. So if I give the try catch block, exception would have been handled and the remaining code would have got executed. So always it is good to use the file manipulation code inside the try catch block. So last one is your file writer. So this file writer, I am just creating the file object and I'm going to write welcome to Java class. So this, whatever I'm writing, I'm just writing it as a string as it is. Okay, I have not converted into byte. So file writer, you need not convert the data into a byte. It automatically converts it into a byte. So string will automatically get converted into byte. So file object dot write. So this is the use of your object that you're creating, because these are the methods available in your file writer class. So whenever you want to access the method of a class, you should access it with the object that you create for the class. So this file writer object I'm using to write and close the file. So whenever you are creating a file, sorry, whenever you are creating an object, you call the constructor. So whenever you are using this file writer, file reader, file input stream, file output stream, the parameter that you pass to the constructor is the path where your file is residing. So when you run this code, this file is not existing. I'll show you. So this is my D drive. In D drive, I don't have this testout.txt file. Okay, I don't have this file. So when you are writing it, if the file is not available, it will create the file and it will write whatever contents you are giving it. But when you are reading it, if the file is not available, then it will create an exception. So file not found exception. So we will run the file writer. is compiled. Now I'm executing it. So success. So file is created if it is not available and the content are returned to the file. So now I'll go to the D drive. So now you can see that this text file is created. So this text file will have the content that we have given. So the content that I have given here is welcome to Java class. So that is now returned into the file. So this is about your file input stream, file output stream, file writer and file reader. So I'll just consolidate what we have seen today. File input stream and file output stream are used to read and write from the file to a file in terms of byte. Okay, file input stream and file output stream will read and write in terms of bytes. So whenever you are reading from a file, it is ASCII value converted into the character. If you are writing to the file using file output string, you have to write it in terms of bytes. So whatever string you have, convert it into the byte. Then you write it into the file. Then we saw how to read programs to how to read to a file, how to write to a file using the file input stream, file output stream. So next we saw file writer, file reader. So file writer and file reader are used to read and write to a file where they are character oriented. You need not convert the string into bytes if you are writing with the help of file writer. File reader and file writer will work with text file. Okay, normal text files only. And file input stream, file output stream can work with any kind of file. It can be text file, it can be image, it can be object file, anything. So any kind of file, if you want to work, then you can use file input stream, file output stream. If it is specifically text file, then it is good to use file reader and file writer. So that is what we have for today. So tomorrow again I will give you few more methods that are available in file and how to close the file and how to delete the file, how to randomly access the file. Here we are reading the file from the first. Okay, we are reading the file from the first, right? If you want to randomly access the file from a particular location, if you want to access the file, how we will use it. So the remaining things we'll see tomorrow. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Sir has given the pending list of students who are supposed to submit assignment 2. So same thing in B section, only 22 students you have submitted your assignment, remaining you have not submitted. So make sure you submit it by today maximum. So students, try to complete your assignments by today maximum. So if you